Hello, welcome to this week's podcast, our first podcast of 2018, and we've got some good topics this week. The secret rumoured up-and-coming Nintendo Direct is one of our topics, and obviously what we want to see for this year. So, over to you, Mike.
Over to me. Right,
Yeah.
so the rumoured Direct. Cool. Excellent. So this rumoured Direct has been going for about a month now, actually. I think EA let the slip out, apparently, of the part that they're playing in terms of one of their games bringing over Fair, however you pronounce it, coming to the Switch. I expect one in January. I think a lot of people do. It will be the year sort of anniversary of the big blowout of what the Switch was. I'm hoping that means it could be something pretty big this year too. If they carry on that momentum with the Direct into the coming year as they did announcing the console, it's only going to sell more and more and do better and better. I think the Direct, if there is going to be one, will be a long one. You're talking like a 40-minute Direct, doing it at the same format. News headline. That's if they have content to deliver us in the upcoming year.
Possibly. I think as it's the first of the year, and we've got like CES around the corner, I think it's quite possible. And I also think they're going to drop some names. Might do some name dropping.
What, support big games?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 15.
Possibly, yeah.
Could be. The thing is,
Prime 4.
Well, yeah. That was that
Pokemon.
There was that Norwegian translation of a Norwegian arm of Nintendo saying that he's coming in 2018 alongside Kirby and I can't remember what Bayonetta 2. But then
Bayonetta 3 because 2's already out.
No, it was 2. It was 2, I think.
No, it was 3.
Oh, 3. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think,
1 and 2 was on the Wii U.
Oh yeah. 1 and 2 is on the Switch.
Oh yeah, it's on the Switch, isn't it?
I think it's number 2. That's that. Oh, that aside, fact check. No, that aside, I think the Swedish translation through Google was more like already announced.
I think it's Norwegian, by the way.
No, the Norwegian one was the first one.
Right, okay.
And that got everyone excited.
Yeah.
But it was Google Translate, you see, when it was first done. And the Google Translate through the Swedish arm of Nintendo translates to already announced games. So it's tough. It's like, pick your hype. Do you go for it coming this year, or do you accept the fact that it could be about 4 years before it even comes out?
Possibly. Right. March time, year anniversary of the Switch. What do you think's going to happen?
Metro Wonderful.
Yeah. Do you think?
I mean...
Do you know what I think?
What's that?
Pokemon.
No.
I think Pokemon in March. Why not?
Pokemon always comes out in November.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know when they come out. I like Pokemon, but I'm not like the biggest fan of Pokemon.
It could be March. It could throw a curveball, but Ultimate Sun and Moon just come out, so I don't think it will be so soon. Maybe they'll do like a port of Ultimate Sun and Moon because they haven't said it couldn't happen.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I would expect Nintendo to start dual releasing their games moving forward and going, well, we're supporting the 3DS user base because we've got like 80 million users or 70 odd million users out there.
Don't want to crucify them, do you?
Yeah, and also if you release a game like Metroid on that system, you've got 7 million users that could potentially go and buy it. Obviously they won't, it'll be a small amount. But I think you just release on both, just re-render in 1080p. I don't know how easy that is, but it should do.
True. I also think this year we're going to get the paid online service. We're going to get. We better be getting Road Squadron 2. Otherwise, there's going to be a serious, nasty letter written to
Road
Nintendo.
Squadron 2?
Yep.
What, re-release of the GameCube port?
Yep.
Oh man, but EA won't like that. They own the license. Unless EA can team up with the original.
Well, do you know what? I couldn't see if EA are going to support the Switch, which I couldn't see them not doing something like that. Because if you think about it, they're not prepared to release the big heavy hitters yet on there. And
no, this is just
look, mate. They've lost money with Battlefront 2. They've got to do something.
Well, they haven't lost money with it, yeah, but it hasn't sold anywhere near as well as they would have expected, according to rumours at least. But maybe I don't know. They've already hummed and hawed with the Switch with using FIFA as a testbed.
Yeah, but that's a legacy edition of FIFA.
Yeah, but that was the testbed, right? How well that does determines what they do moving forward.
It's only like 1%. It was 3, and then it went to 1. Because obviously it was...
EA are big enough to get on the bandwagon late. So I don't see...
Yeah.
I mean, I see small support, smaller games, like Fair. coming out. It is coming out. It's been confirmed anyway. But yeah, I don't see EA putting their weight behind the Switch just yet. Maybe towards the back end of the year.
Yeah, true.
I think it's Ubisoft going all in, going ham.
Yeah, and I think we may see the Assassin's Creed they released at the end of last year coming onto the Switch, which is Origins.
Say one of your favourite games.
Yeah. Well, I haven't got to play it yet.
But the franchise.
Yeah, I do like Assassin's Creed. Well, or they might do something cheeky and throw Black Flag on there, because they could easily get it on there, because it ran on the 360 and the PS3.
That to me makes so much more sense. Like, bring out a collection.
True.
The original 1 to 3 games, every single one of that, for example. I know Black Flag is...
It's the Marmite.
Yeah, it's the Marmite franchise, right? So it's a bit more of a gamble. But you released the first 3. This is where I think Nintendo should go to flesh out the year. If they don't have the first party content that they had in the first year, the big hitters they release every month, and they don't release the equivalent of the Virtual Console early on in this year, just bring us like, hey, here's the Mafia 3 game. Here's this game from the Xbox 360 PS3 generation that you loved and want to play. I mean, they've done it with the indie big hitters. There's some indie games that have made it over, and they're
Rocket
old.
League.
Yeah, well, effectively old games in terms of when they launched, and yet everybody's still eating them up. Rocket League's #1 in the shop, I think, like nearly every time I check it.
Because it's such a multiplayer game, and they were doing it for like 11 quid in a sale.
And it was ported really well.
Yeah.
And that's the key thing.
That porting team are working hard. They are working very hard.
Panic button gets all the jobs.
Can you imagine there's like little red lights flashing round and you've got the siren sounds and all you can hear is...
The name would be ironic, isn't it? Someone's pushed the button. Let's go. I think they could port loads of 3DS games.
Yeah, I think there's also some older games which you're probably right would probably work really well on there. So,
well, anything that's on Wii U,
Mafia 2 would be quite good because they could get a few of the PS3 ports, which say backwards compatibility for the Xbox. The Xbox 360 have backwards compatibility for the Xbox One. They could, so they know it's possible, and the hardware isn't probably too dissimilar. And they could port something like... I'd like to see Mafia 2 on there, because Mafia 2 is an amazing game. It was very short, but quite underrated. Sorry.
No, it's totally fine. Yeah, I know you're passionate about it. I think that they should... That bracket of games can totally come over. I mean, the power wouldn't even be an issue.
It'd be fine.
Run it easy, without even having to like really struggle in handheld either. In terms of like Nintendo's previous consoles, 3DS and Wii U, they can bring those games out, resell them, because they won't be counted as Virtual Console or legacy games because it's just a generation before. You get like Sony done HD remaster bandwagon for the first couple of years of the PS4's life.
Yeah, of course.
And it carried it over to 80 million sold now apparently with the I think 60 to 80 million sold on the PS4. So it works. Nintendo could take a leaf out of the book and go, right.
Well, they already have. We did it with Mario Kart 8, didn't they? They pulled it over.
Yeah, but I think
and technically Zelda as well.
Well,
so they're the 2 biggest selling games of the year.
You're not wrong. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, that's totally true. I mean, I wouldn't be as excited to see new Super Mario Brothers come over and games like that. I'd be more excited for older games like Galaxy, but I don't think there's room for that at the moment. Mario Odyssey's just come out. Mario will take a break, right?
But definitely.
In terms of like 3DS, I think they could bring over like A Link Between Worlds.
Be a great game to pull.
All these small games they can just bring over. I mean, Mario Maker. That's 2D Mario building game.
See, Mario Maker on the Switch would work really well because it's touchscreen. So you would have a much bigger screen to play with, and if they wanted to make it into 2, like they did with the 3DS, because you can just vertical. If you played that pinball game, there's a free pinball game that you can use vertical on your Switch, and it just makes the table much bigger.
It's going for that whole arcade approach, isn't it? I forgot what the ratio is, but yeah. I mean, they have the ability to take so much content and put it on there. But now this is Nintendo we're talking about. Do they do that? Do they flood it? They have started flooding the eShop with games, but most of them are quality games. It's not like, it's not shovelware like it was with the Wii. I mean, the Wii wasn't just like, hey, here's Barbie's horse version, whatever, blah 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 blah.
How many did you have of those? Suckered you right in, didn't they?
By number 4, it's starting to get old. Of Barbie Horse, whatever. That's the title of it. Box quote. No, I think moving forward through 2018, they can do one or two things. They can either continue that amazing first-party support and, hey, surprise, guess what? We have F-Zero coming. Or they got Metroid. I mean, if they manage to bring Metroid out next year, if they manage to do it next year, you've confirmed the success of the Switch, I think, at that point. Not that that they ever sell well historically, but for what the target audience is with a Switch and for the type of game that's really popular now, it would become
but
popular.
Metroid Prime would probably sell quite well on a Switch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you, yeah.
It would sell well. And something like F-Zero, they haven't made for, how many generations?
16 years.
So 2 generations, yeah? Maybe 3? 3.
Yeah, essentially.
So,
GameCube was the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 3 generations they haven't made it for, and that's what they've done. So something like that would sell because, see, Fast RMX is only a very arcadey game where
it's a tribute. It's an indie tribute to F-Zero and Wipeout sort of combined almost. But
not quite as good.
Yeah, it is an indie game and it does well for what it is. And it does well. It showcases Switch's capabilities early on, I think.
Yes.
But with F-Zero, they can't just, in my opinion, they won't just bring out an easy sort of adaptation of F-Zero GX, which is the GameCube one, because Nintendo like to throw the spanner in the works with their franchises, especially if it's been a while. They're like, we're not going to give you what you want, we're going to tell you what you want, and you're going to like it, and we end up doing. You end up going, unless it's like a really not
quite
everyone likes.
A few companies that do that, don't they?
Yeah, well,
well, you want this, but we're going to give you this, and you're going to love it. And that's
the difference is though with medium, an interactive medium like gaming. As long as it's fun, then they're right. Because if you enjoy it, you was right. That's now what you want. People miss stuff and we did miss a open world sandbox Mario game for many years. So it came full circle and we got one. But people weren't unhappy with the Galaxy games. They loved the Galaxy games.
Galaxy was pretty decent. I thought 3D World, not on the Wii U, the 3DS version was amazing. I loved it on the 3DS.
I think they were good, but at that point, the whole art style running from the new Super Mario Brothers games combined with them 3D World and 3D Land, I think people were waiting for that. I mean, how revolutionary was Mario 64. People were waiting for that big Mario, and they delivered. They gave us Odyssey.
Yeah.
And we got there in the end. And same with Breath of the Wild. You know, people were so lukewarm about Skyward Sword, and you could argue that's the Marmite of the Zelda franchise. It's a solid game. It's not the Zelda game that people are asking for, and I think that's one of the most important things.
But then no one else. We go back to full circle to the conversation we've had for the last 6 months about Zelda and how incredible it is. So
yeah, well, it's a game of a generation. Like at least one of the games of a generation.
Exactly.
You're talking something that critics unanimously agree upon.
Well, we've still got Wolfenstein to come.
But that's going to be interesting. See, that's coming apparently by March, right?
Yeah.
So
that might be the heavy hitter for the.
If that can deliver better than Doom, and I think it can do, because I think Doom, they didn't have the same sort of time and experience they're going to invest into Wolfenstein.
Yes, correct.
Although Wolfenstein is a newer, probably arguably more demanding game.
Yes, it is.
It's all about style and delivery, right?
Yes.
I think they're going to aim for a stable frame rate, 30 frames, do the same sort of thing as Doom, variable resolution. Yep. Dynamic resolution, rather.
But the thing is, when you're playing on a 720p screen that small, you don't need to. You can't really run it at 60 frames with that much detail.
You're subconsciously already letting them have a bit of slack, aren't you? It's like, I'm playing Doom on the go. Of course I'm letting them have slack. This is not possible really before, not in a way that was viable. It has
with a proper controller. Because if you look at all the other handheld consoles, like even the 3DS had the weird, like obviously
the nub for the new 3DS, right?
Yeah, camera controls. And then obviously the L2 and R2 buttons were sort of in each other and a bit uncomfortable. Control stick rather than the actual proper full analog. Joy-Con.
Yeah, Joy-Con.
Joy-Con,
I mean, I don't know whether Metroid Prime 4 will come out. I think there's definitely a market for it. It will deliver a big message, and it wouldn't surprise me for Nintendo to announce it as a surprise. Is like, they've been kind of doing that a while now. And historically, they only ever really announce a game if it is coming out within 6 to 12 months. They've said that. Although Metroid Prime 4 was just a logo. and Pokemon was just a logo. In fact, Pokemon was a man sitting in an office looking like he was drawing a concept art. So, you know.
He still hadn't even picked up his pencil. Oh, we're going to do Pokemon.
Yeah, held to gunpoint.
Yeah.
Nintendo have made me announce that there's a game coming for Switch because everyone was so upset we didn't say it was coming, so we've shoehorned it into E3. No, Pokemon I think is going to come next year. I think it will be there. It'll be around November. But I don't think it's going to be the Pokemon game people were picturing. I think it will be like an up-res version of what you get on 3DS. Exactly like what 3DS first done with DS, which was like, it's like Pokemon Black and White 2, and then the first DS one, they kind of have the same sort of art style.
Possibly.
So it wasn't until...
well, even if it's a top-down view with much crisper graphics...
Yeah, it would still sell, because no one ever complains about the formula.
No, because the formula works, because you're not there to run about a whole world. Well, you are there...
I want to see... Monster Hunter cross Pokemon would be the game that I think...
Well, I think it'd be Xenoblade cross...
No, but can you imagine? You've got Monster Hunter and Pokemon, that world
Well,
combined,
Xenoblade has obviously just recently come out, so they had that at the end of the year. We still have to get around to playing that.
Well, Johnny, one of our channel contributors, he's put 265 hours into it and still hasn't finished it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
It's massive, and I don't think that's a completion. He's near completion this run through, but not quite getting everything. So it's a massive game. It takes time.
Yeah, exactly. But Zelda took a long time.
But it's a massive game that fit on a 32 gigabyte card,
yeah.
right? So this whole 64 gigabyte is I don't know. We'll see.
I think it is if you're going to go multiplayer. I think because you're adding that next layer on. If it's a single player, I reckon you get away with 32 gig. Because if you looked at Doom had to do the multiplayer download, and it was 12 or so gig.
Yeah, but I think that was more just a smart move, because it's about playing Doom on the go, so you're not going to really have as big an opportunity to play it. And
multiplayer,
split screen on that tiny screen. So I think it was just more a functional reason.
Okay,
more so than space, because Xenoblade is a massive.
You know, Doom is like
game.
80 gig, right?
Yeah, but you're talking 80 gig with the high-res textures that go with the console versions or the PC versions.
Yeah, it was the same on the console as well.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is
Switch,
Switch won't need that.
Oh yeah, true.
It's not having to pull those sort of resolutions and textures. It's not using the same anisotropic filtering to get the high-res textures moving forward as well. So you're going to just have a lot of lower, smaller file sizes.
Fair enough. And I'd say probably one of the things that I also think this year, we get games for 20 quid. AAA games for £20, that's what I want. I know, but it's we've got what we want.
I was thinking about like Switch having a price drop sale come next Black Friday, and I was thinking it probably won't happen. Because
I think they might do it for...
They've done it for the Wii U. The Wii U pretty much stuck with it for years, and then they've done like a $50 price drop, which was nothing major.
Yeah, no, I don't think the Switch console will go down in price. I think they'll do better packages.
Oh, they'll do bundles, yeah, with Breath of the Wild and Odyssey when it runs cold after like a year and a half and people jumping in late.
Well, to be fair, if you look at the 3DS, because I was on Nintendo site today and they're doing like bundles, so they're doing like the 2DS plus like Pokemon Ultra Sun
for like £80, 120 quid, right? Like really cheap.
Well, they're doing 179, but you're getting an amiibo. So you can have an amiibo, a case, and a couple of other bits. You get like 5 items. I thought to be fair, it's not something I'll go and spend now. But if I really wanted to play Pokemon, maybe I would go to Nintendo site and just try and see what I can get, because that's why I think the bundles are going to happen.
I see it coming. The bundles they're always top notch for the 3DS when it comes to Black Friday. You get like a top tier game in the console for like 80 quid or whatever. Yeah, the smaller models and whatnot. But I think Nintendo doesn't need to worry about that, and I don't think they want to devalue the hype train moving forward.
No, they won't do. They'll just put like, if you get a Switch from like Nintendo, they'll say you can have a really nice case and maybe a T-shirt, and
they kind of do it already. Yeah, they kind of do it already.
I think they'll just give like, when it comes to, as you said, they go cold. I think they'll give like maybe the T-shirt.
I think it'll be like a decal version. Like here's Breath of the Wild Switch with like a Breath of the Wild decal on the back and the Joy-Cons or whatever. It won't be like a full colour scheme. It'll just be like, you know, like a picture painting on it, a bit like the PS4 editions that they do.
More Joy-Con colours this year. I think
we're getting that. Yeah, we've already got quite a lot actually.
But we haven't got the dual green, which we've had the discussion about me getting the dual green.
Dual purple, man.
Nah, dual green.
GameCube. I like to see Virtual Console launch this year, like one way or another, whatever it's going to be called, and I like it to start with GameCube games, and with that come purple Joy-Cons.
That would be quite cool.
the big question is, and it's the far-fetched possibility of...
Yeah, but what colour would we have? Because we could have silver Joy-Cons. We could have purple.
Purple
we could have black.
Purple's the iconic connotation for it's like Game Boy Advance. Purple is the colour. Even Game Boy Color and Game Boy Pocket, purple was very
predominant. Yeah. And also the clears. They had the clears. They had it from the original Game Boy that they did the clear range on.
Well, I saw a clear Switch mod. At work the other day, all the SNES colour buttons in there. It looked really, really, really nice. I mean, it didn't make much sense for the backplate because it's just a big metal heatsink.
Yeah, I don't see the point of that.
But the Joy-Cons look really good. And they've already done a semi-transparent Pro controller. I see it happening. Accessorised, I think that's going to be Nintendo's maybe motive moving forward into 2018. I would like to see, and I don't expect it now, but I would like to see, Switch 2.0 released, if you like. Improved slightly, maybe 64GB internal storage and better Bluetooth
more RAM
and Wi-Fi chip.
It needs more RAM. It needs more internal
RAM.
But it needs 8 gig.
But that's fine.
If you want battery smooth.
But you don't want to segregate the audience too much. So if you're going to have an improved console that plays better in portable mode, that's cool, but the same dock performance, great. Or one way or the other, you're supplementing your performance one way or the other.
Well, we're either doing that, or either stick them in the same handheld mode, because that doesn't need to be any higher, and then dock mode jumps up to like...
Yeah, it was like the rumours of having the dedicated GPU into the dock to help boost performance. I mean, I know the CPU inside the Switch will throttle up to a certain point, but it would still be interesting. I'm more thinking just a 64GB internal memory, maybe a slightly bigger screen. Those sort of like tweaks of improvements, the DS Lite to the DS XL. I don't expect it in year one though. Now
will it be Switch XL?
Switch XL. I wouldn't want it much bigger, if I'm being honest. But
it's the perfect size.
Shrunken bezels is the talk with phones, and iPads done it right, and tablets do it. They were like, here's 1, 2, 3 every year.
With slightly more improved specs.
Yeah.
And it's, well, as you said, we're doing a step down configuration, so even if they added like more RAM just to alleviate a little, because it must have a way of using virtual memory to run some of its games.
Yeah,
it's got to use it, because everything uses virtual memory.
Whatever they do now, they don't want to segregate their audience. As long as each game will be performing roughly the same, and I don't mean like you have new 3DS performance to 3DS performance where you're playing like Dynasty Warriors or Hyrule Warriors rather, and you're getting just a completely different experience because the game is that vast in terms of what it can render on the screen. And
but you are going to get that with 2 different tablet versions. That's just, it's going to be like that. It's the same between...
Yeah, if you start increasing RAM,
it's the same between phones, isn't it?
But I wouldn't mind that if it was a clear message moving forward. It's like, we're going to support each version of Switch forever moving forward.
Yep.
We're going to take on the phone/PC model where you can scale your games.
Yeah.
We're going to have choices to upgrade either your home experience or the Switch experience. Because it can be a cheap upgrade. Yeah. I mean, I don't believe it's ever going to happen, but it could be like you just upgrade the tablet portion of the Switch. You own the Joy-Con, you own the dock.
Yep.
The dock's £80. The Joy-Cons are another 80 quid. So that's 160 quid off of what it could be.
So do one for 160.
Yeah, like you can do one for like maybe 199, just to be a bit cheeky, because that's the whole point, right? 199 to get you a better Switch, or you can do like 150 for improved dock performance. But at this point in the game, they want developers to join because it's easy to use. It just works as a sort of like slogan. You just pop it in, it comes up on the screen. You pop it out, you play it on the go. Yes. You pop a Joy-Con off. That's the message, and they don't want to convolute that. So it's going to be that either at most just an improved display ratio, improved form factor,
maybe slim down,
or even just improved Wi-Fi and Bluetooth chip, because it's so bad. It's the biggest shortcoming of the Switch is the ability to actually sit some distance away from it. It's the opposite almost to like the Wii U. You can take it on the go, but it's harder to play at home. At least, I mean, in my own experience with having just nothing but a single Wi-Fi device next to it, it drops off after a few feet away. So I don't know, like that could happen in that respect.
That will just come as an improvement.
That would just become out as like I say, a new Switch with a slightly increased bezel. But again, they might not want to confuse the message.
Where's the Wi-Fi? Is it in the Switch itself, or is it in the Joy-Cons?
Is it the Switch?
Or they do something, or they read the something. they'll redesign the Joy-Cons and then add a new Wi-Fi port in there.
Maybe.
That'd
I'd
be
rather
cool.
see them tweak and perfect the formula moving forward than go, cool, we're going to stick with this for 6 years. Run it all the way down like they did with 3DS, which is it's just too old now. It's too old. It's way past its upgrade date. And they're still supporting it, bringing out new consoles announced just in the year gone. So I don't want them to see that. I'd rather see just iterations and tweaks and improvements on the formula. They have done it with the DS consoles, but real improvements, not just bigger screen or smaller screen.
Well, I reckon 2019, 2020 comes around the corner. I think they'll drop something.
Switch Pro.
Yeah, why not?
You're right, totally. Why not? It's a modular console by definition.
Yeah, exactly. They'll just bezel it, won't they? We'll have curved edges like the Note 8. It'll be the Switch 8 with a nice curved edge.
Unwanted touches.
Yeah. Well, that's not too bad with the curved edges. Took them a few goes to get it right. But,
or they bring out like the Switch phone.
Switch phone.
And it'd be like an actual phone the size of like the Note 8, which is a Switch, because it can perform it's only going to need to perform like handheld only.
Yeah.
And then like on the phone you can buy an accessory dock that you switch in and it's got the controls. I'd buy that.
Yeah, but the controls will be like, the phone's about that big.
No, but the controls don't have to match the bezels of the phone, because you don't keep them on when
you're going to be like that.
Yeah, but you don't keep them on when you're on the phone.
Yeah,
do you?
true.
Like, and you'd be playing it like you would do the same size as the doggy style pad that it sits into the.
Oh yeah. You mean a little plastic dock thing? Yeah.
So like, but I mean that was what people wanted for years. But realistically, Nintendo 2018 is probably going to bring out a couple more big hitters, at least one. They're going to have to bring out one.
Well, they've got Bayonetta 3. I know that for sure.
That's like second party. I mean, like from Nintendo itself, it has to bring out a major franchise, and I don't mean Animal Crossing. And as much as people love Animal Crossing, as much as I would love it if I ever gave it time and day, it's not the big hit. It's a big seller, but you're talking the audience that have bought the Switch, who love the Switch. They want to see a Metro Prime 4. They want to see
F-Zero,
a new IP maybe. You know?
Yeah.
Or like a Donkey Kong, 3D Donkey Kong game. I would love a 3D Donkey Kong. I'm one of the few that really enjoyed Donkey Kong 64. So, or some weird sort of Microsoft Rare lease announcement.
Possibly.
They've worked. They've done it before.
Yeah. Well,
they made Diddy Kong Racing DS, right?
Yeah.
For 3DS.
True. They might sneak some little beauties in there.
I think the most likely thing though is Virtual Console. They're going to ride that wave throughout the year.
Oh yeah.
Like, hey, here's this big game you remember, and here's another big game you remember, and we didn't have to spend any development time on it.
Well, they'll do that, but I reckon they'll move to the 64. I think they'll have more 64 content on it. Because remember how...
The reason I think GameCube makes sense is you're advertising console level graphics on the go, right?
Yeah,
and I know we haven't had portable N64 games before, but it wouldn't be a technical marvel, right? It wouldn't be mind blowing to play 64 games on the go. You can do that with a modded like
phone.
Yeah, you could. Yeah,
exactly. You can do it. I get
but
it.
GameCube games, if you're getting to play, Rogue Squadron 2,
which I really want to play,
or
which is one of my
Metro
favourites.
Prime 1 and 2, because that makes sense. Hey, here's the Virtual Console. We're not having Metro Prime 4 until 2019, but guess what? Here's the Metro Prime trilogy, without the motion controls in the third one. But here's that trilogy.
Yeah.
On the go.
Yeah.
People will go crazy.
And that's why I think EA now has the Star Wars rights. Why, if you could get Rogue Squadron that has the Star Wars right, why wouldn't EA go, right, fine, we'll stick it on there. It's not their game. Then
EA doesn't want to be associated with a game that isn't made by them, because if there's hype for it, it's like it's not really EA. Because it isn't their game. Like, even though it's licensed, the license is owned by Disney and leased to EA. The actual game and intellectual property and everything to make the game a game.
But if Disney just give them the nod and say to them, yeah, you can have it on there, because Disney only leases it
still
to you.
exists. Like, it's not like the company that built the games out of place now. They just don't make games.
Why isn't it possible?
It is possible. I just don't think it's likely. But it would do EA.
Bearing in mind
good.
that was a launch game. That was a launch game for the GameCube.
Just bring it out in 1080p. Or I don't want like a GameCube game that runs in 480p.
No, it's 1080.
It needs to be a 1080p.
720 handheld.
If Dolphin can do it on low power PCs, then yeah man.
You can do it on a MacBook Air. You can run Dolphin on a MacBook Air.
Well,
I've run it on there. Yeah. So we know it runs. So that's like dual core processor.
Well, look at the Nvidia Shield in China with built-in.
They're running
1080p
already.
Wii and GameCube games, right? So it's totally possible, and that's probably without much effort put in from Nintendo.
Exactly.
So that's my hope. What I
Yeah.
expect is just some sort of virtual console content as a beef, the meat between the buns, if you like, for the year, followed by announcements from third-party support.
Yep.
That actually blow people away, like Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
But I think Ubisoft...
Red Dead 1.
Yeah, why not?
Red Dead Redemption 1 will be
But
quite cool.
Well, I say why not. It would only come out if Red Dead Redemption 2 was announced. Because it would be really bad for Nintendo to license a game that they can't get a sequel for. It's basically saying go to our competitors.
Well, again, it's GTA will probably make its way to the Switch because it's a handheld version. Imagine playing GTA 5 handheld, 720p.
Yeah, well,
It would look amazing in your
It
hand.
could run 720p with all the bells and whistles because it was running on the 360.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I can see that. We've got LA Noir's come out.
Yeah, which I actually have got, and it actually looks pretty good. I'll give the Switch.
Skyrim. The support's there from big studios. It's just when it trickles over into other massive games, and I can see it happening. Maybe an agreement with another
Keyboard
company.
and mouse extension, having a bit of CS:GO or Dota 2 on there.
But the keyboard works natively. Natively with the Switch anyway. If you plug in a
nice.
keyboard via wired USB, it will allow you to type when text boxes come up. So
Nice, I didn't know that.
Support, yeah.
Oh, then clearly we can add a mouse and we can have like a bit of CS:GO on there. Handheld CS:GO, you get mullet.
Yeah, you get mullet. But then the sort of graphics that pro CS:GO players play at is all low, so they can get a high frame rate. So you'd be looking the same quality.
Yeah, exactly.
It would just run a lot slower, and you wouldn't be able to keep up.
No, you do alright on that. It needs
touchscreen.
Touchscreen aiming.
Just aim with your finger.
People get well annoyed if you were really quick.
They could tap into the Wii franchises and go, yeah, let's bring up the Wii stuff. But I think they want to sort of distance themselves from the Wii branding because they could play Galaxy. It has inbuilt motion tracking via accelerometers. Don't need a sensor bar. But I don't think it will happen. I think Wii's going to be kept quiet for a couple of years, and when they need to reach into that bucket, they can do.
Yeah, and that's why I think we're probably on the nose with GameCube. GameCube was a great console.
It's the other underappreciated console, right?
Yeah, very.
And it has a lot of love, a lot of core gamers now that target market were at the age where they grew up playing GameCube, and they have memories of that, and it would tap into it really well. And it was a hardcore console. Some big games, I wouldn't be surprised if Resident Evil 4 came out. They've already done Revelations 1 and 2, and people love 4.
Yeah, exactly.
There's just
sneak some Sunshine in there. Okay, if you're gonna do it in March, first game they don't give for free, but they've announced is Sunshine on there.
Yeah, but again, like it's off the back of Mario. I think if they're gonna announce a game,
yeah, it'd be like mid or late year.
I want them to bring out a Zelda trilogy pack.
Okay.
Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, and Skyward Sword. Well, they've already done 2 of them. They just have to do the final one, and it's done.
Ah, Skyward, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only
but
one
like,
left.
as a bargain, sell it the same as you would Breath of the Wild, so it's going to seem quite expensive, but you are getting 3 Zelda games with the same sort of hours you'd put into Breath of the Wild. So you're getting the same total content.
Gameplay time, yeah.
You've already done the work for 2 of them, so the workload from them is low.
I just can't see them putting Wind Waker again. There's a reason, because they had it on a Wii U.
But it was one of the best looking games on Wii U. And they've already proven that they didn't have a big enough target audience with Mario Kart. Although Mario Kart is a massive seller every time. It's like the second best selling game on any generation of consoles they release. When we were talking of that, actually, going to digress a bit, but Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah, we forgot about Smash Brothers.
They just have to announce that, and you've got a whole other bunch. Smash Brothers Brawl 2, Smash Brothers Melee 2. They wouldn't call it that, but if they go, this is Smash Brothers built on the Melee game engine, everyone would just lose their mind and go crazy.
Everyone would lose it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's their most competitive pro circuit game.
Well, they are going for that, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they've got Rocket League.
They supported it a couple of years ago at E3. Well, obviously with the ball version, but yeah, and I think the director's name, I forgot his name now, starts with S, but he was burned out. And I think he wanted a break, and every time he wanted to break, like, come back and do more. But he's fully burned out now, and it would be easy on him to just say, look, we don't need much from you, just melee a little bit more. But to him, melee isn't his favourite anyway, so it depends what they do. They teamed up with Capcom, Capcom before, or Namco rather, to help them with the previous Smash Bros. So I can see him doing it again. Why not?
That'll be on your Christmas list if it comes out. On your birthday, actually.
And then I have to get good again, because it's been years since I've really invested into it.
Mate.
So
well, we will see.
It's going to be a good year, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to drop off. I think it's going to keep going.
No, it won't drop off. I can't see it dropping off.
Nintendo's decided to throw everything that they've got into this console. They don't have to focus twice. I think what you might get is we had the 3DS as the kids console now, you know, like the bargain kids console that's durable and cheap, right? I can see them doing like for the Switch, perhaps like a slightly kiddier version, smaller maybe.
Bit bigger than 3DS, or about the same size as 3DS.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I wouldn't ever buy it, but you know, a more portable version like a Switch Lite. But next year, I don't think so.
Nah, a couple of years away. I don't.
When the 3DS is fully dead and buried.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it should be now.
Yeah. Well, maybe don't throw the 3DS under the bus yet, mate.
No,
I'll still play mine.
It's one of the greatest consoles of all time in terms of actual game content
and handheld wise.
Best games you could get.
But that and the PSP are the two probably top handheld games.
In 2012. It's now 6 years
2018.
old.
Yep.
Well, it's going to be 6 years old, and I think it might have been 2011 actually. But it's 6 years old, and it's aging badly. It's at this point it would have normally been changed historically with Nintendo and handhelds. Forget the first Game Boy, and it never did get the change. It got like a slight upgrade.
Yep.
So as you see it fading out now, they've done the Metroid, they've done the last hurrah, giving it justification to run side by side.
Done Smash Brothers as well.
Yeah, but I mean they said that the Game Boy Advance had life as a third pillar when they announced the DS, and that didn't happen. So it's PR talk.
Yeah, of course.
The 3DS is done.
Yeah, we'll just let it. Will it fade out by the end of the year? Is the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think 2018 marks the end of the 3DS.
Perfect. So if you haven't got a 2DS XL, get them while they're new, keep them boxed, hold on to them for a decade, then sell them.
I think they'll still sell them. I just like they won't stop manufacturing them until like 2022 or whatever it is, how they normally do it.
Yeah.
I think like support will be all on the third-party Japanese companies that can't afford to bring a game out on Switch because they don't have the R&D, so they'll probably just bring it out for years.
You mean get like nice...
You still get more games than what the Vita's got in 1 year.
Saying that, they're actually really well supported, the Vita.
Yeah, by that third-party Japanese niche sort of like market.
They've got some mental games on there.
That's why Persona's still bigger than ever now, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
It helped it. But yeah, Nintendo's year 2018. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, definitely. Stay switched on.